Today, more than ever, we are seeing sign language become popular in social media, through movies, even day-to-day communication between deaf individuals. And I know many people have wondered, sign language, where did it come from? Is it a formal language? What more can I know about it? And that is so important to ask ourselves as we continue to push for equal equality for all different individuals in America and all over the world. My name is Iris Johnson. I graduated with an associate's degree in sign language interpreting from Lansing Community College. I'm about to graduate with my bachelor's degree in sign language interpreting from Siena Heights University, and will be continuing into my master's for deaf education. Today I'm going to go through those quick few points about deaf community and culture, the history of it, and why it is so important for us to be aware of that, to continue to spread the equality information and equal access for deaf individuals. So it actually all started in France in 1785. A little boy named Laurent Clerc was born hearing, and the year after, in 1786, he fell into a fire, lost his hearing and his sense of smell. In 1797, he decided to go to the Royal Institute for the Deaf in Paris, where he graduated and from there continued to become an educator there at the school. Around that same time, Hopkins Gallaudet was a hearing man in America, just finishing up his theology degree and going into ministry, when he met his 9-year-old neighbor, Alice Cogswell, who was deaf. He wanted to communicate with her, but found that there were no formal forms of communication in America with the deaf. So he decided to go over to England and learn more about the different ways that they communicate there. He'd heard of oral forms of communication, and he was interested in those. So in 1815, Hopkins Gallaudet went over to England and learned more about their oral forms of communication, but was so disappointed because it doesn't fit for every deaf individual. Some deaf individuals can hear and communicate with that, but others just can't, like we've learned even today. Some of them are so deaf that they can't use that oralism. He was disappointed, but he found 3 deaf educators who were actually working at the Royal Institute for the Deaf in Paris. They invited him to come over and watch what they were doing for a couple of months, and from there he met Laurent Clerc, of course, one of those educators, and he invited him to come over to America with him. And they did just that. In 1816, they came by boat to America, and using their skills of both English from Hopkins Gallaudet and sign from Laurent Clerc, they decided to form the American School for the Deaf in Hartford, Connecticut in 1817. That was funded by the state. Each student got 5 years of funding, so they did all of the work that they could to allow those students to learn the most language and information they could about sign language. From that time, many schools for the deaf were funded and founded in the states, each state having their own school for the deaf. And then in 1857, Hopkins Gallaudet's son, Edward Minor, actually took over with his deaf mother, Sophia, who was the wife of Hopkins. In 1864, the National Deaf Mute College, which is now known as Gallaudet University, was opened. Edward Minor Gallaudet was the first president, and it has become the largest deaf university in the nation and world today, residing in Washington, D.C., and that was signed by Abe Lincoln, which is important to note because that continued and started the equal access awareness from such a higher level, continuing down to show the awareness of deaf individuals and their language. Around 1870s, Alexander Graham Bell started to promote oralism in the States, and deaf individuals were very concerned about that because a lot of them did rely on strictly sign language. So in 1880, the National Association of the Deaf was founded, where those deaf individuals could support and show the awareness for their own language. The National Deaf and Mute College became Gallaudet officially in 1894, and in 1965, ASL was recognized as its own language. In 1988, a very prominent and important part of deaf culture was the Deaf President Now, when students from Gallaudet pushed for a deaf president over a hearing president so that they could actually communicate with their president. In 1990, the ADA law was signed, and that allowed for businesses, hospitals, and everyday life to have equal access for deaf individuals to guarantee that same equal access as hearing individuals. From 1990 to present, we see deaf individuals continue to spread the awareness along with hearing individuals who are allies of the deaf community. This has been shown a lot over social media, such as TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, even in movies. A lot we are seeing that, and that is continuing to become so important for us as hearing allies to push for having equal access with deaf individuals. I hope you've learned a little bit more about how we can continue to support deaf individuals and push for that awareness and equal access for them. Thank you.